right, and we're live. This is the Chris and Chris podcast, the only podcast in the tri-state area where two people with the same name talk about random shit. I'm your host, Chris.
I'm also Chris.
Our names are mutual. That's what we're trying to say. So we had a late start today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Chris is always not on time.
I'm always one step behind. Behind. One of those.
Good, evil.
Both fine choices.
Both are fine choices. So, Chris, you got your, you cut your thumb.
Yeah, wide open.
How did that happen?
I was at work. We talked about how I work or what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we have these things called split washers. They're, if anybody doesn't know what a washer is, it's like a piece of metal that you usually put in between stuff. So that either, like if you're screwing in a screw and you put a washer under it so that the screw doesn't hurt the thing that you're screwing it into. Things like that. So we have these things called split washers, which are a washer. They're thin pieces of metal, but you're actually supposed to take a razor, and they're actually multiple pieces of metal, very thinly put together. So they're razor sharp, and they're like hundredths of a centimeter thick. And you split them, and you put them into between two other pieces of metal that like they're at a part that shouldn't be moving, but if it's even a little bit of space, it'll move. It's not supposed to. So you put the washer in there. Should be very careful with it because it's a very thin piece of metal. And
It's like when you're...
And flesh is very soft.
It's like the mechanical version of trying to get the pit out of a fucking avocado.
Basically.
with the knives. But you wobbled it, right? And
so I put the washer in and it got stuck. And instead of taking some pliers and pulling it out or cutting it and whatever I should have, I attempted to salvage it and kind of wiggle it in. And since it's very thin, it bent and shot right across my thumb. And it split it in two.
Oh, great.
It's about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch deep.
Is it the same hand? I got cut with one of those mandolins. You know, the
Right,
ones that
the
they
right
cut
hand.
like...
Yep.
Because I'm a bitch, dude. I get like lightheaded. And I'm like, oh, I had to take a knee. It was like this small little cut.
It's so thin and sharp that it didn't actually start bleeding for like a full 6 seconds. It was like fucking...
Well, you would hold it right away.
I like grabbed it, but like I grabbed it like that, so if it was bleeding, it still would have bled. Like, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so my thumb basically got cleaved in twain. The other night I was out to dinner with Val, and I had my bandage on my thumb, and I was like, this dinner's pretty good. I gave this place 2 thumbs up. Just raised my one hand. It was funny. We had a pretty decent laugh out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. What did you do?
What did I do? Nothing, man. I've been working like a motherfucker, dude. I've been telling you about this last job that I was working for.
Okay.
He's like, okay, so you got 7 days. You got to put together a 3-minute thing in CG with 10 characters, 3 days. Better be good.
I feel like
better be good.
Every time you tell me about a job, it's just Squidward telling SpongeBob to play music with a napkin.
Yeah,
Play
exactly.
me an elaborate
I can't
song
do it
with this. They give you like 2 sticks and a plug that doesn't have anything to plug into, and they're like, make me an elaborate, beautiful 3D animation with this.
With using this shitty computer. And by yourself.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
Or we
exactly.
kill your family.
In 5 days. They're like, this looks bad. I'm like,
yeah.
I know.
That's what happens when you...
Somehow we pulled it out of our ass. Like, we just finished it. But that's my work experience, man. I think that's like the work experience of every... Like a lot of people who want to work hard, like that's the reality that you're gonna have to face.
I don't want that at all.
Like I'm not getting paid enough.
Oh yeah.
I had control over.
Nobody is, dude.
Granted, but you know, like I'm like the second director. Like there was a guy above me, but you know, it's fucking it. I hate.
I see your brain shooting off in a million directions.
I know. It's just
so many wrong things. Yeah.
I was like, this is not the right way to do this. This is not the right way to do this. You know?
Yeah, that's Yeah.
It's whatever. But like we were like recycling characters from that other thing I was working on, and we just put it in there. I had to figure out like the render style at the same time while animating everything, and then like the people that the people that they were bringing on. Like, oh, I worked the whole day. And I was like, what did you do? and he's like, I animated a scene and a half. Oh, there's 24 shots, right? And it looked bad. It was like he had the whole, Oh.
I mean, I animated it. I didn't say I animated it well. I mean, it doesn't look good, but it looks better than it used to. My name is nameless Animator Farts.
Animator Farts. and my dad said I can make animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Don't quit your day job. This is your day job?
This is my day job. My dreams are... Your dreams are more than this?
Well, everybody's got to have something to reach for, even if it's unattainable.
Do they really?
No.
It's like that. Have you seen those YouTube advertisements for what was it? Online university. What was it?
The Donald Trump college, right?
Almost like that, dude.
His college is so huge.
It's
huge.
Or something? I don't even know.
People learning.
Prager U.
Learning all the time. You'll do it.
You haven't got those advertisements for Prager U?
No.
Fucking.
Because the internet knows I have no interest in higher education. Really? It knows not to.
No, but they have like the guy from Dirty Jobs like doing advertisements for it. It's like they're like, do not like basically one of the videos was like, do not follow your dreams. Like there's so many people.
I've been elbow deep inside of a live cow vagina.
Right. What?
That's him. He was like he inseminated a cow for one of them. Like I've had the dirtiest jobs.
Oh yeah.
And he inseminated a cow. He was like all the way in there. And I haven't had any job dirtier than going to college.
If you've actually seen these, we should actually watch one of those.
What, Dirty Job thing?
No, the Prager U thing about following your dreams.
You know what? I'll watch anything once.
Yeah, let's start off with that today. The video's called "Don't Follow Your Passion."
All right. Don't follow your passion.
I wonder what they hear about.
A realistic story.
And it's the guy from.
With the first one.
Don't follow your passion with the Dirty Jobs guy. It's got 5 million views.
All right, 5 million.
That's
views.
a good way to open today. Don't follow your dreams. The podcast,
Well, then we should just stop doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I know. You can still do it. It's not like you're gonna make it or whatever. Anyway,
muted. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
There are only two things I can tell you today that come with absolutely no agenda. The first is congratulations. The second,
for not following your passion.
Everything else is what I like to call the dirty truth. Which is just another way
because he was on Dirty Jobs.
And in my opinion, you have all been given some terrible advice. And that advice is this.
Who told me that?
Follow your passion.
Follow your passion.
This is bad advice.
Every time I watch the Oscars, I cringe when some famous movie star,
when some ugly whore,
some painted up doll.
It's always the same thing.
But really, fuck the Oscars.
You don't have what it takes, kid. And the ever popular, never give up on your dreams.
Never give up. Trust your instincts.
Persistence and the value of encouragement.
If I had never listened to Pepe, I don't think I'd be alive today.
Never give up on their dreams without even knowing what it is they're dreaming. I mean, how can Lady Gaga possibly know where your passion will lead you? Have these people never seen American Idol?
You're gonna die.
Oh my god.
You're gonna die.
I feel like he doesn't even know what he's saying.
He's like he's like complaining like he's a fucking TV star. He's a really blue collar guy. I do like him a lot, but
world's full of people who can't sing. It's their genuine shock.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not the point they're talking about. Like, if you're bad at it, of course you don't do it. Like,
well, no, not even that. It's
look.
Follow your passion. Your passion could be singing, but you could be a terrible singer. It doesn't mean don't sing.
Yeah, don't ever sing. I think what he's trying to say is don't try to make it your job.
Just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you won't suck at it. And just because you've earned a degree in your chosen field, it doesn't mean you're going to find your dream job. Dream jobs are usually just that.
Life is a hole of
Dreams.
despair that you can no one can ever come out of. It is the singularity pulling your soul down into an infinite abyss.
This is like really triggering me right now.
Meaningful work.
I'm getting so mad.
Yeah.
For the job you already have.
And that the AC in offices is regularly renovated.
A dream job. I remember a very successful septic tank cleaner, a multimillionaire who told me the secret to his success.
Life is just like a big shitty septic tank full of shit. You gotta suck it all out.
I went the opposite way. Then I got good at my work. Then
I went the
began to
opposite way.
prosper.
Literally.
And then one day,
I went up the asses of every person on the planet and started to clean up their motherfucking shit.
I've heard that same basic story from
That sounds like a
welders,
get rich
plumbers,
quick.
carpenters, electricians.
Do you know what no one's talking about?
Hundreds of other
Shit!
skilled tradesmen.
No one's talking about how to get rid of shit.
Opportunity, not passion, and prosper as a result.
No one's talking about it. Everybody shit. What does everybody do? They all shit.
Everybody shits.
You shit. I shit.
I can make money off of that.
Yeah, bird shit.
Narrow set of opportunities
Your mom
that polite
shits.
society calls
Jesus.
good careers. Now, meanwhile, employers are struggling to fill nearly 5.8 million jobs that nobody's trained to do. This is the skills gap. It's real, and its cause is actually very simple. When people follow
Ignore your passion. That's duh.
Dude, who the fuck actually follows the passion? Like the people who are actually successful in those fields, like singing, and like even the people that don't do it for a living, it's still a very small niche of people. Even the people that do it very well.
That was my passion.
You know, and the people that actually make it is even smaller. Now, I'm in a community where I'm surrounded by a lot of musicians who are really good at their job. We still fucking do it anyway, but we have realistic expectations about it. A lot of it, but it doesn't mean that you don't fucking do it.
Like I've been saying a lot.
On American Idol, who believed his passion was enough
Bless
to
you.
ensure his success.
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Hold on, let's wrap this up.
Why?
Let's finish
With the video.
listening.
Okay.
After a heavy sigh,
I just
my
like the video.
granddad gave me the best advice I've ever received. He told me, Mike,
Use this
you can
tampon.
still be a tradesman, but only if you get yourself a different kind of toolbox. At the time, this felt
That's good. That's a
contrary
good
to
one. That's a good one.
everything I believed about the importance of passion and persistence and staying the course. But of course, he was right.
Stay the course.
Because
What's that from? This one.
staying the course,
Like
that only makes sense if you're headed in a sensible direction. And while passion is way too important to be without, it's way too fickle to follow around. Which brings us to the final dirty truth. Never follow your passion.
Never.
Always bring it with you.
Oh, I like that.
Again.
That's a good thing at
Good
the
luck.
end.
okay.
He's a sensible guy.
Okay.
I like it.
Fair. I guess we kind of got clickbaited on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. But they have other shit that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But
All right. So
yeah, that's interesting.
I've been
thing to open
saying
with.
stuff like not like that, but like there are certain things that people like doing that maybe even if you're good at it, like there's some things that people like doing that you can't make money at or you can't be successful like to support yourself on. Doesn't mean don't do it, but I think there's a huge difference, and not a lot of people know this, between like your passion or your hobby or something you like doing and between like your job even. You know, you don't, those two things don't have to be the same thing, like, and you don't have to necessarily make money. Like I like gaming, I like competitive gaming, I like fighting games, I like all that stuff, and while yes I would like to make money at it, sometimes I look at it and there are times when I think maybe I don't. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to make money out of it, go to the tournaments all the time, win, blah, blah, blah. But there's a whole other side of it. When you make your passion your job, you add a level of stress that might actually make you not like it. You have to live and breathe it 24/7. You have to, it's an incredible amount of stress especially when you're trying to make yourself successful at it. And you could very well end up making yourself not want to do it. It's like, that's the difference I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, you come from a very different camp.
Me?
I think so. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because of course you're gonna have to. I think Charlie Day said it really well. He's
Okay.
like, you know the old saying that if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And he's like, no, of course, there's always work.
Yeah. Like you're still gonna have to work hard.
But the point is that you liked it enough that you're gonna do it anyway. Because if I have to do anything, I'd rather do that than anything else. Right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, it could be blowing guys in the back of an alley. It could be.
I mean,
it could be.
I hear that's pretty lucrative these days.
Yeah, that's a good passion.
Just
I'm passionate about blowing guys in the back alley. So the point is. It was so serious, and
I think this is a momentous occasion. Actually, I don't think there has ever been a time in history when I've been on the serious note and you've brought it to the comedy note.
I'm this fourth podcast. I'm learning. I'm learning.
It's getting smarter.
It's getting smarter.
Life finds a way.
Funny finds a way. It's evolving, changing.
Or maybe we're so bad that
that
we've lowered the bar for ourselves, and now we think
we become so bad that I'm the funny one, which should never happen.
Oh my god.
I asked on the link. We're looking for videos to react to, so send those links.
Word.
So anybody who's got stuff, we have a Facebook live thing.
What
right
up,
now,
my dude?
Right now, our Facebook page for Chris and Chris is so small that no one will be on it to ask. So I put this on my own.
One person has joined, and our viewership has jumped 10,000%.
Yeah.
Quick math.
Infinite percent.
Quick math.
What time are we at? We
man.
got 20 minutes. Okay, so I think it's a good time to do the
No,
Yahoo
I
News.
hate this so much. God, this is just like... It's like somebody put $1 and a bunch of hypodermic needles in a bag and said, try to get the dollar. Every time we do this.
You gotta be strong enough. Go ahead. Don't want to get hepatitis C. Don't want to get
have to be quicker than that. Oh, you almost got it. Oh, now you're dead. It's like the shitty Family Guy joke.
Yeah.
Just more used needles. I could have sworn the gloves were in here.
Yeah, right. All right, so open it up with a good one.
All right, Yahoo News. I clicked it. Oh,
that's the first one.
I have a good like headline on this one.
Okay, so
he blasts off in his rocket. What could go wrong? Question mark.
What story is this?
Mike Hughes, who believes the Earth is flat, pledged that he would launch himself into the sky. After scrubbing several attempts, he kept his promise. So I guess this flat earther wants to go into outer space and view the flat Earth.
It's times like these, Darwin's, law of I'm just glad,
Well, you see,
go ahead, guy. Do it.
My plan to launch myself into orbit would be to lift a very heavy rock on one side of the planet, and then I'll be on the other side, and it will act as a... because the Earth is flat, it'll launch me into space.
It's foolproof. I think that would work. I think that would be really cool. Go ahead, do it. See what happens, man. But make sure you record it.
Make sure you...
so I can see it. I would love to see that. Wherever you are. You gonna keep reading?
Yeah, that was the headline.
Oh.
All right, so I'll read it. Yeah, Los Angeles. He finally went up, just like the self-taught. Oh, fucking ads. The self-taught rocket scientist.
I already see great things ahead with this.
I want to emphasize he is a self-taught rocket scientist.
What a great opening.
I bet you he puts that on his resume.
I'm self-taught. I didn't even need school to learn how to fucking launch a rocket.
He whatchamacallit, I can't think of the word. He ironically says, "Oh, rocket science, like it's easy."
Oh,
I taught myself that. Just me and Shel Silverstein every day. No, I lost the. Oh, I lost it.
You lost what?
I lost it.
Oh, you bitch.
Where is it? I actually lost it. Oh my god. No, where? How? It went back by itself and then it changed. Oh, I have no idea how to. Nope. Well, it's gone.
Intermission.
We had a gem.
Intermission. And then we're gonna here. I'll insert Nicky Ferrari. Intermission.
Oh God.
Shit.
Yeah, we should probably have Nicky Ferrari on here.
Like the. Oh wait, what am I thinking? I'm thinking.
You know Nicky Ferrari.
Yeah, I know Nick Ferrari. All right, I'm not gonna break the cycle here.
Anyone who knows Nicky Ferrari,
it's hilarious.
Shout out if you want to have him on the podcast. He's getting up there in age, so we want to catch him before he fucking dies.
Right? Him and Stanley are having a bet to see who.
But it's the same video with Nicky Ferrari, like, oh, I get all the mail, the fan mail. I miss all you guys because we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen Nicky anyway.
I just had a riveting battle with tuberculosis.
So this is for people who are not on Long Island and they don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't expect you to. There is this very funny comedian named Nicky Ferrari, and he would always come out to shows and to live events.
Yep.
And he was a real character.
He's a national treasure.
Yeah, and I think he stopped showing up around.
Like if I had to put him on a nose, like if I had to explain him to somebody who didn't know who he was, I would say he's like a mix of Hugh Hefner and Stanley. Yeah,
exactly. So, we would love to have him on the podcast at some point. That'd be amazing. So
because he's funny, he's got the charisma. He's half dead.
Experience. So we'll try to reach out to him. Soon.
Yeah,
I have feelers out for some other
guests.
Oh yeah,
is that?
Yeah,
I love that saying because it's definitely not creepy at all.
Shut up, man. You know what I'm talking about.
I stick my fingers out there and just hope to touch stuff.
Ooh, we got 2 followers.
Oh shit! Who's number 2?
2 people watching.
You're getting called out right now. So
all right, so let's continue this Yahoo News.
All right, so self-taught rocket scientist pledged that he would go up into space, and he apparently did. So he did it. He came back down in one piece. He said a little dinged up at a steam-powered.
Wait, what?
What? This can't be real.
What?
It says he came back down in one piece too, a little dinged up, and his steam-powered vessel a little cracked up.
What is it?
A steam-powered ship that went into orbit. This can't be real.
It has to be like a balloon or something.
This has to be a joke. A steam-powered rocket ship.
Well, then it's not really a rocket.
Still, mission accomplished for a guy more daredevil than engineer. Yeah. Who drew more comparisons to the cartoon character Wile E. Coyote from his critics than he did to iconic stuntman Evel Knievel. I feel like none of this relates to what he actually did or tried to do. Apparently he did it. Mad, in quotations, mad Mike Hughes, the Rocket Man.
Oh shit. Oh, that's his name. Wow.
Who believes the Earth is flat, propelled himself about 1,875 feet into the air Saturday before a hard landing in the Mojave Desert.
Hold on. I need to look this up. Because how far up in the air is 1,875 feet? Like how is that orbit?
All right.
I have no idea. I'm retarded.
I'm just going to type in his 1,800 feet. I feel like it's not, right? Because isn't like airplanes, aren't they like at 10,000 feet or something?
Just went like in the steam power.
He's like, I almost made it to the clouds.
Oh, I see pictures of this rocket. It's like the back of one of those like fucking trucks.
Does it look like Wile E. Coyote?
Yeah, it does.
He just put himself on a giant like slingshot.
Yeah, look. I'll send it to you. Ready?
Oh my god, I can't.
There it is.
Oh my god, there's more pictures. It looks like a fucking
research. This is research.
It's just
2 arrows.
Research flat Earth, right? It's just a sticker over, like badly placed over the Acme logo. You see Wile E. Coyote walking away with a stack of money counting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh god, people are retarded, including me.
Okay, so what did you Google that you got this batch of photos?
I don't know. Anyway, let's keep.
Because I'm looking down and I see the picture of the rocket and him, and then I see a picture of Ellen DeGeneres, and then I see a picture of what's his name, Hellboy, and then I see a picture of those conjoined twins, and then a picture of Richard Simmons. So
I feel like those go together.
And then a picture of what looks like what's her name from Disney Channel.
Keep reading, man.
All right. Looks like she's got Steve Buscemi eyes. All right. Where'd I leave off? Wait, what? This story just keeps getting better and better. Okay, so
Oh boy.
the 61-year-old limo driver converted a mobile home into a ramp and modified it to launch from a vertical angle so he wouldn't fall back to the ground on public land. For months, he's been working on overhauling his rocket in his garage. It looked like Saturday might be another in a string of cancellations, given that the wind was blowing and his rocket was losing steam. Listen, it happens to a lot of 61-year-old men. Their rockets lose steam sometimes. It just comes with age, or maybe it doesn't.
There's a guy. The same guy is in a stretcher.
Jesus
The same
Christ!
guy in the stretcher. It's like him, like going, and then him in the stretcher after.
Let's see.
Oh god.
For months, he's been working on overhauling his rocket in his garage. It looked like Saturday might be another in a string of cancellations, given that the wind was blowing and his rocket was losing steam. Ideally, they wanted it at 350 psi for maximum thrust. 350 psi.
I don't know the math behind that. What's does that mean?
It's pounds per square inch.
Yeah, I know that, but is that little? Is that a lot?
It's not a lot.
That's not a lot,
Not
right?
to launch a craft into orbit.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah. Didn't like Dolph Lundgren's punch, like in Rocky IV, had more PSI?
Dolph Lundgren's punch.
So basically, all he had to do was be in the bottom of this rocket with Dolph Lundgren. That would be better than what he did.
Dolph Lundgren's punch in real life was probably more than... But this man believes that was enough to put him in to outer space. I like how we just watched a video on the on the skill gap, and then we watch this. This guy is considered a rocket scientist.
Fucking ridiculous, dude.
Oh, but the maximum thrust was dropped to 340, so we might not make it.
Yeah. Wait. How much was in Rocky IV? What was the PSI on his punch? Ivan Drago demonstrating his punching power. Ready? I'm gonna watch that right now.
1,850. Dolph Lundgren's PSI on his punch was 1,850 in this fictitious movie about people fighting.
He could probably punch with his left hand.
But this man believes that less than a quarter of that can put him into orbit. Oh my god!
So good.
People are so dumb!
Alright, keep reading.
I told Mike we could try to keep charging it up and get it hotter, he said. Waldo Stakes, who's been helping Hughes with his endeavor, he said no.
Okay.
Sometime after 3 p.m. PDT and without a countdown, Hughes rockets soared into the sky.
I guess I'll do it now. Cuts the string.
We're gonna go on 3, 10, 9.
That's why he was in the stretcher.
Into the ground. I really got a vivid vision. He's got the fucking helmet on. And he's like ready to go. Right into the ground. Next scene, stretch.
Oh God.
That's fantastic. Oh. Stop. Hughes reached a speed that stakes estimated to be around 350 miles per hour before pulling his parachute. Hughes was dropping too fast, though. He had to deploy a second one. He landed with a thud, and the rocket's nose broke in two places, like it was designed to do.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So, okay, so obviously 350 miles per hour is not nearly enough to put you in orbit. But to be fair, like, what, 30 years ago, we thought 88 miles an hour could make you travel through time.
88. Oh, very good, Chris.
So,
oh boy.
How
How
mad at him can we get?
Yeah, right.
He should have had a flux capacitor. Once this piece of shit hits 350 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
350 PSI.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
So I guess the magic number for this guy is 350. He wanted 350 PSI. He wanted to go 350 miles per hour.
Yeah, as soon as he hits 350, he's going to be able to see not the curvature of the Earth doesn't exist.
He went 350 miles per hour and went back in time to warn himself that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not your rocket, it's your kids. Something's got to be done about your kids. The thing was to kill you 10 different ways. He said Hughes, who had an altimeter, I don't know what that is, altimeter, in his cockpit to measure his altitude. This thing will kill you in a heartbeat. Am I glad I did it? Yeah, I guess. I'll feel it in the morning. I won't be able to get out of bed. At least I can go home and have dinner and see my cats tonight.
This guy sounds like a real, he's a cat guy.
Oh my God.
He's got everything going on for him.
He got permission to launch on the land owned by Albert Okura, who bought Amboy in 2005 for $435,000.
Yo, you know what? Did they mention how the fuck he lands?
They said he landed face down, the nose broke in half like it was designed to do, and like I think he deployed a parachute. I don't know if he was in the rocket and it had a parachute, or he had a parachute and he ejected from it.
Dude, I love these DIY guys are fucking amazing.
I mean, is this the worst like launch? This is probably.
But think about it. So
you see Kim Jong-un with like a notepad taking notes. It's like.
But he's trying to like prove, like he's trying to see over and see if there's like a curvature in the Earth. There's so many, like he's going to hot balloon, you fucking idiot.
So is this the worst rocket launch in history or the best DIY in history?
DIY, yeah. DUI. It could be both. It's probably both.
Or DIY? I don't know. Do it yourself?
Do it yourself.
DIY.
DIY.
Yeah.
See? We got it eventually.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I reversed those.
DUI, DIY.
DIY.
I wish there was somebody there to like interview him.
All right, let's.
Do I believe the Earth is shaped like a frisbee? I believe it is, he said.
Yes, I do.
Do I know for sure? No, that's why I want to go up into space, idiot.
Why don't you?
That's what he said.
There's other ways to do that. You realize we have technology now where a person doesn't have to go up. He can like attach a camera to like a fucking balloon.
He goes, this is his project for down the road. He wants to build a, quote, raccoon, a rocket that is carried into the atmosphere by a gas-filled balloon.
There you go.
A raccoon.
Dude, he discovered that. Wow.
Then separated from the balloon and lit. This rocket would take Hughes about 68 miles in the air.
Which is a lot more than 1,850 feet. Why? What's this guy's name?
Hughes something, I forget.
What was his name? Mike Hughes, super genius. Mikey E. Hughes.
He's a
super genius.
Did I get high enough to see the Earth? No, but I saw God, and he told me it was flat, so I believe him.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking in tongues.
Nope, that was just a lack of oxygen because you didn't bring a fucking oxygen tank when you went to the atmosphere.
Right.
Idiot.
All right.
All right.
Finish this up.
Well, he ended up traveling 1,374 feet. He collapsed after that landing and needed 3 days to recover. He's like Mac. He's like, I was just gonna do an action roll and I would be fine.
Man, all right. The legend of Mike Hughes. Mad Mike Hughes. Let him live on in the stratosphere, which apparently is 1,850 feet in the air.
Touchdown brings me round again to find.
Okay,
I say the Earth is flat, but they tell me no. Oh no, ho ho.
I'm a rocket man. All right, so we have we got sent a video from our good friend Joina. I'll send it to you.
Let's see it.
I'll send it to you. It's a short one. It looks like it's only 12 seconds.
That's okay. It's enough to get the job done.
We'll attach the link here.
3, 2, 1, go.
All women are queens. If she breathes, she's a thought.
Okay. Thoughts?
And that concludes our viewer video section of the... That's pretty funny.
He screams thought with such conviction.
I know, right?
I have to respect
Have you
that.
seen the original? Be gone, thought.
No.
Just type in "be gone, thought." It should be the first one. That's like us. That's like a 3-second video. That's like the original. This is like on the level of like, welcome to Chili's.
Be gone, thought.
That might have been the same guy.
Probably
Probably the same dude. I don't know where thought came from. All right, we're going to wrap up Yahoo News.
You know what thought stands for?
Well, I have no
You don't know what thought stands for?
No.
It stands for that hoe over there.
Oh.
Chris learned something. We got to get that star up. Shh, the more you know.
Anyway. All right, I'm going to wrap up with one other Yahoo News story.
All right, what do you got? What do you got for me, man?
Teen taking driver's exam crashes into test office.
Backing up!
Backing up! Minnesota teens
Back
driving...
it up.
A Minnesota teen's driving exam came to a crashing halt last week as she plowed into the testing
Is that a
office.
pun?
Yes, it is, Chris.
Crashing.
Well, you only expect the best from Yahoo News.
She died on impact.
Anyway, the 17-year-old accidentally had the car in drive instead of reverse as she was trying to back out of the parking spot in front of the test location in Buffalo. I'm going to call it, I need to call this, right? She already finished the driving test. She got her license. This is immediately what she does.
So this
you want to take bets on that?
This actually happened to me and I almost died.
Really?
A very similar story to this. I was working at GameStop at the time, and it was on the news and it was in the paper. You don't remember this? When I was in high school.
Was it?
Yeah.
What happened?
Some old lady was
I feel like I'm doing
do you know Mayfair Shopping? You're not. I swear you're not. You know Mayfair Shopping Center?
No.
By the school, by Smithtown High School.
I've never heard this story. We've been friends forever. How did I know?
I've told you this story, my dude.
Okay.
So I was working at GameStop and I had just finished alphabetizing all the fucking Game Boy Advance games, which is back when they had Game Boy Advance at GameStop, and some.
Oh, okay. It was somebody else. I thought it was you.
Yeah, no. And then this old
thought,
woman.
like, you drove in.
Okay,
I was like,
so
what?
it's like the store, right? And then there's like the street, and then there's the parking lot with the cars obviously facing the store. Some old woman, some like
Yeah, I
90-year-old
remember
woman,
this story.
hit the gas instead of the brake and drove through the front of the store, destroying the setup of games I just alphabetized. I had to jump over the counter.
My God, I forgot that story. Jesus, fuck.
And plowed through the store, and that happened. I almost died. Like, you can look that up.
Oh my God.
That was a crazy fucking story, and
This is her reincarnation. Anyway, the
Yeah, right.
17-year-old accidentally had the car in drive instead of reverse as she was trying to back out of a parking spot in the front of the test location in Buffalo, Minnesota last Wednesday. The result, besides a failed exam,
Ah.
damn it. All right. Left the nose of the silver SUV in the front of the building. The impact caused significant damage to the vehicle and building. What about the people?
Who cares? Just buy more.
The 6-year-old woman administering the test was taken to a Buffalo hospital. Mrs. Puff.
Oh, SpongeBob.
Oh.
Why?
With non-life-threatening injuries. That's good. The driver's only injury was to her pride. Yahoo News does it again. Police said no charges are pending. Poor girl.
With stories like this, I think we're shit out of luck. I think we can't compete with that.
Yeah, no. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Does she get to retake the test?
Not for a while. I would imagine. All right. So,
Never living that one down. Hey, are you the girl that crashed through the building? Yeah.
all right. So
Woman drivers, am I right? Oh, God.
So Matthew Stoll asks, Dragon Ball Super finale, letdown, best ending ever?
We were actually just talking about this a little bit earlier. I believe that this was intentional. It might not have been, but I think like the moral or the theme that they were going for was that like you have Jiren who doesn't trust anyone, doesn't believe in any friendship or any connection to other people of any kind because every time he did, they died or whatever, like, you know, cliche anime story, whatever. I don't think they were going for a very like fairy tale-ish ending where everyone expects like, oh, Goku and Vegeta work together, overcome whatever, and beat the villain. I think they were going for more of, it was the most unlikely duo, which was Goku and Frieza, and they had to work together and they had to basically trust each other. Yeah. And I think they were going for that type of story plot where Jiren doesn't trust anybody. He thinks that it's weak and it causes, you'll lose for it. And the two most characters that we would never expect to ever trust each other, like Goku and Vegeta, they have their differences. They work together, but they trust each other. They maybe won't be able to fight well together, but they trust each other. Nobody, since Frieza has been in the show, nobody trusts Frieza. Since he was on the team for the Tournament of Power, everyone's like, what's he gonna pull? He's gonna fuck over everybody. He's gonna get the Super Dragon Balls. He's hiding. He's betraying everyone.
Like he shot Goku in the back.
Yeah. Everybody did, right? So I think they were going for, they trust each other, and that trust of these two people that nobody expected to ever trust each other was more powerful than Jiren. And while I'm not like super happy with it, I respect the story that they went to go for. I like it, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. And then they obviously everyone saw them wishing all the universes back after that. Yeah, and then like everything after that was pretty heartfelt. For
what Dragon Ball Super is, Dragon Ball in general is like, that's about as deep as you're gonna get. Like
I like it.
In the term of that context, yeah, I guess it was that animation though. Ooh.
Yeah, the animation was really good, but yeah, but everything after that was very feelsy. I don't know. It's been a long ride, man. It's been a long,
it's still
long
garbage,
ride.
But I like it. I like it. Yes, I do. I don't know why.
I'm always going to be a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah, of course. You just get emotional attachment to these characters.
And
probably should have ended in the Frieza saga. Now Frieza's like the new Vegeta. Basically, we didn't you were afraid of that happening.
I know.
Basically, that's what happened.
I mean, he still said he's going to be evil, so I guess...
Yeah, but like evil in what context? Like
that he's going to enslave the universe? That kind of evil?
Oh.
That he somehow manages to get another army?
I guess.
After, didn't Vegeta kill everybody? Didn't somebody kill all the soldiers in the movie in Resurrection of F?
Yeah, Frieza.
Frieza killed all the soldiers?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, he did. That's right. He did.
You can't keep killing your army, Frieza. Jesus.
So, there's that. I liked it. I think Chris has a strong opinion that Vegeta's new form, Royal Blue or whatever you want to call it, is better than
Royal Blue is
Kaioken.
I think it is more sustainable. But like, this is like me even having an opinion about like power levels and Dragon Ball. Anything is like you're working against. Like, I mean, you're trying to apply You're trying to apply common sense and continuity into something that
has
zero continuity. Like it's like whatever.
Yeah. I'm
Like,
excited for this movie. I don't really know much about any of it. Supposedly it's a Saiyan, right? The villain. The animation looks beautiful. I said it looks a lot like the first Digimon movie. That it was like the same style of animation. I thought it was really interesting and like not super unique, but you could see there's a subtle difference to the type of animation.
It's an upgrade.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a way big upgrade.
For sure. So I'm curious to see how they run that in like fight sequences, especially in the intense Dragon Ball Z fight sequences.
Yeah.
I think it'll end up looking a lot like, remember like the first episode of Space Dandy? When like they are running on those rocks and stuff, and that super like exaggerated animation, but it was really, really good.
Yeah, the thing with a lot of those animes are all the key poses are very good.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot of them, but so a lot of people think that it's called animating on 2s or 1s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things look smoother because there's more frames, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you're playing 60 frames per second, it looks better when there's 60 frames, and that's about the limit that the human eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
But animation, you can get the motion even with less drawings, and I think anime
Okay.
does that.
I
best.
mean, this is all like over my head a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I'm confused because I haven't actually gone back and confirmed this, but it was to my understanding that not all the universes were in the Tournament of Power, but maybe that might not be the case now.
No, I think they were.
I think they
excluded 4 of them.
I thought, I'm hearing conflicting things. I actually haven't gone back and confirmed. I've heard that. Remember that like exhibition that they did? I think that wasn't including all the universes, right? And then the Tournament of
They
Power
excluded at least 2 or 4. Or something
Did they?
That. Yeah.
I don't know because it might have been a discrepancy. I don't know. I thought that, but there was like no mention of it at all, right? So I don't know if that's a continuity thing or maybe a misinterpretation. I don't know. I have to check that out. Is Matt still? Is he listening or?
Yeah.
All right. Did he say anything?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
he put like another really spoilery question up. All right, so spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Whatever. Get over it.
Did Luke really die?
Yes.
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 That's all I'm going to say.
That's 100% yes. That is.
Yeah, he died.
Without like the thing that makes me mad, and I talk about this all the time with people when I talk about Star Wars, is that I didn't like it because it defeats the purpose of the plan or tactic that he was trying to do. Like, yes, I get it. He overexerted himself. He forced Jedi mind tricked whatever himself billions of light years across the galaxy and tricked a bunch of people into thinking he was there and he wasn't. And then he overexerted himself and he died. He became a Force ghost, whatever, right? But like, wouldn't the whole point, I've been saying this, wouldn't the whole point of him projecting himself and not actually being there would be to not die?
Well, not really, because he needed to grab the attention without dying, like at that particular moment. You know, like because he got shot by a lot of lasers, but he wasn't actually there.
I mean, you don't think he could have been able to like deflect that or live through that?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I would have loved it if he just showed up and like forced all the fucking lasers and then like and knocked all the fucking
that's what I thought was going to happen.
That would have been so cool.
But
Everybody wanted that.
It didn't.
Yeah, I know. So like, that's my thought on it. Like, if you're not going to actually show up and do it, and yeah, they didn't want it to be like, episode 6 or episode 3 or 4, right? Where Obi-Wan, I forget which movie that was. Obi-Wan dies to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So like, if he showed up 4. And then Kylo killed him, it would have been like too much like episode 4. Like, I get it. So they just tried to do something different, but I think it just, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was the best way they could have done it. I agree, but I still wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm not that upset with that. I'm more upset with fucking Princess Leia shit. That pissed me off. That was so dumb. Like, I get blown up out of my cockpit.
That didn't upset me that much.
I get blown up out of my fucking cockpit. I force fly through space in the vacuum of space without like dying. Then knock on the door. Hey, let me in. I'm in space. And then they open the door, and there's just no vacuum of space. When they open the door to let her in, nothing gets sucked out.
I didn't even notice that. Whoops.
They open the door and let her in, and nothing happens. She just walks in. Like, there's no airlock or anything.
I'm cold.
Like, as soon as they open that door, everything should have gotten sucked out in outer space.
Whoops. Oh, well.
Whatever.
All right. Matthew Stoll says, after watching it again when Kylo and Rey first force connect, Kylo says, "You're not doing this. The effort would kill you," which I'm guessing is foreshadowing Luke's death, I guess. But definitely not something I caught in theater. So
I don't think that's a foreshadowing of Luke's death.
it's not the same as projecting yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely Snoke did that, but I would think.
But also, like, is Kylo like a
Maybe the
fucking
twist in-
master of the Force? I feel like he's not.
Maybe the twist in 3 was Luke that was doing it.
Oh man. Right?
Oh, you never thought of that, huh? Ooh.
But wasn't he like mad when he found them doing that?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know. They kind of dropped the ball.
They did too much.
Yeah.
In The Last Jedi.
It's a good movie.
It's not a bad movie, but
great.
they did too much because what's left for them to do in this last movie besides like resolve the war?
A new story, which is basically what they should have done in episode 7 instead of, Now, people argue like it's like enough of the old and new to ease your way into this,
So, like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. The first half was pretty to me. The second half I liked a lot. I thought that scene with them fighting the Royal Guards was probably the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, that was great.
I loved that. Whew, that was a good fight scene. Yeah.
All right.
I'm curious to see how
Matthew Stoll for the question.
Thank you.
All right.
we did.
So you're talking about video games, right?
Yeah, sure.
Let's end on. I'm an ass. I'm like one of those guys that just watches games being played because I just don't have time, to like get it.
I get it.
But
it's fair.
One that disturbed me was the fucking Doki.
Oh, the Doki Doki Literature Club.
And that fucked my shit up.
That's it's a pretty good one.
I showed you the game theory thing on that. It fucked me up, man. It's like
I didn't play through it. I just kind of watched some people playing it, and I thought the game was completely spoiled for me. I just knew that they like all killed themselves, and I thought it was just to be like a psychological horror-esque game, but it was actually way deeper than that.
Way deeper.
With
it's
the AI.
Game.
Yeah, it's like almost fourth wall breaking. Well, actually, I feel like it is fourth wall breaking.
You did like change codes.
Yeah.
In like the game files so that affects the game.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. That was there's obviously I never thought there would be, but there is a huge audience that is really into like. I feel like if I always felt with these type of secrets stuff like that, I feel like would never get found out, but it does really quickly now. Like I guess it's just a group of people who can really analyze every single thing in a game, and we'll be able to find pretty much anything.
There was crazy amount of decoding that like these
nonsense.
guys did.
Yeah,
like these 4 files, and like one was a audio file that had to be converted like visually somehow.
Yeah,
it was a code.
Yeah,
like
into that. What was it? 6-bit
64
or hexadecimal
base 64
or base 64. Yeah.
And then like they had to decode that, and then after that, like there was like a box with like it looked like a what are the codes that you read with your camera?
Oh, the box ones. They're like squares. I forget the name.
Let's see, camera code.
It's like a barcode.
I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, we're old, Chris. We don't know those hip new things.
I never use it, so
yeah. Well,
anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then the other one with the.
But like, the people thought it was that, but it was actually like binary. So
Yeah.
like every pixel was white was 1,
Yeah.
black was 0, and then that got turned into base 64, and then they had to convert the base 64 it turned into a creepypasta.
Maybe I'm just like old or getting older, or maybe I'm just lazy. It's probably laziness, but I don't think I'd ever look at something like that and figure that out. I mean,
some people like that.
If I'm gonna like be really cocky and conceited, I consider myself pretty smart, and I'm not like a genius, but I feel like I'm pretty smart, and I would have never ever thought to like take that and assume, or not assume, but think that it could be binary and each pixel was like that, and
let's just give
that's
them
crazy.
a little. We should have done this before. Doki Doki Literature Club is a game that's available on Steam. It's free.
It masks itself
as a dating sim, right?
like an anime waifu dating sim game.
Yeah, which I was all right, whatever. And
Yeah.
but then it gets really dark.
Yeah,
very quickly. It has a lot of layers.
Yeah, masks itself as one thing, and it leads you to believe it's another thing, like several times.
I
Like,
always love that shit.
yeah,
a lot.
I like that. A big thumbs up. It's actually really, if you don't mind playing through, because it still plays through like a fucking dating sim. So
Basically, yeah.
if you don't mind going through that, the actual story of the game,
Gotta get those sexy stills.
those
baby.
waifus, right?
Ooh.
Those, yeah. So it masks itself as a dating sim, and these girls you're trying to get the attention of one of these girls, and you can ultimately choose to get with any of them or whatever. I don't think you have sex with them, but like you get them to like you or whatever, or you like them. And as the game progresses, then you find out that it's really dark, and like they're all like got their own crazy issues, and like most or 3 of the 4 end up killing themselves in the game.
Yeah.
This is like super spoilers, by the way. Yeah. And then beyond that, you find out that they kind of didn't, because the AI of one of the characters in the game becomes self-aware as an AI in a game and not as a waifu.
She's like, oh, I don't even know who the hell you are. And you could be a boy or girl. I don't know.
And then becomes obsessed with you, and
she's been manipulating
the code of the other characters in the game to kill themselves so that she could be with you. Like
a fine fuck.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, if you're watching this and you just got the whole game spoiled, I guess there's not really a point to playing it now.
Just watch Matt Pet's video. I mean,
but it's good.
I
think it was a big kudos to them. It's an original idea for sure, and like, it's super interesting.
There's like a 4th layer, because it's actually it's almost like a teaser for another game.
Yeah, there's the 4th layer. Then you find out after doing multiple playthroughs and getting all the endings and figuring all the code and all this crap, it's crazy in the code files of the characters. You find out that it's most likely that this game is actually like leading to another game, that these characters or these AIs that are in the game as the waifus or whatever are characters from another game that he's going to be making. Right. That's going to be, it's crazy cult of like human science.
It's only 3 people for that company. It's only 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, that's
crazy.
They did a lot with what they had,
Yeah.
They obviously couldn't make some fucking crazy Halo type game where 3D worlds and everything.
And that's what's awesome. Like these little things, like it's not like replayable really, like
because all any video game really is a mix of your gameplay, which is some people like gameplay and some people play games because it's storytelling. It's another form of media. It's almost like a book or a movie where you're telling a story.
Now I'm gonna get into that's a good point. I want to talk a little bit about like. All right, so this argument that I think was popularized with Ego Raptor, where like only the gameplay matters. Who cares about the fucking story? Now I'm not sure what he like if he meant like across every game ever. It could be just for side scroll. I don't know what his stance was, but I think he popularized that idea that gameplay is the only thing that really matters. And to a point, sure, like if you just want to enjoy yourself, but it's missing the greater picture of using it as a way to tell a story.
I think there's an argument to be made for both. Some games, like Galaga or Pac-Man, have no story, but they're fun to play, and that's the appeal to those video games. And then there are some games like, I mean, I don't want to compare Toki Doki Literature Club to Galaga, but there's games like Toki Doki Literature Club, games like BioShock, which BioShock had awesome gameplay and was fun, but the story is really the compelling factor of that game. Nobody goes to BioShock and like, oh man, I love that first person with these powers and stuff. No, the story that they're telling is what makes that game so good, because it's such a great story.
Right.
Like it would have been just as much as a successful book, I think, or even just a movie. Maybe not a movie because it's hard to portray all that, but like the story itself is what makes that so great, because the story is so good, not necessarily like the gameplay by itself.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of different types of medias in gaming, like bias is always
of course
something that like everyone, I think, for instance, Zelda 64 is the best Zelda ever, but like it's
both of them.
I played them like as a kid. Some other people think like 5 years. If someone's like 5 years older than me, it's a Link to the Past. Just because that's when they were kids.
I think that's people. I don't know, when I critique something or when I say something, I really try to take into consideration everything that was in, like if it's a series of games like Zelda, I try not to just be like, oh well, this is the one that I like the most. Like I try to think a little bit outside the box as what do I think is a good game, and not necessarily just Zelda, but what makes the game good to me, and then I apply that to all the games and see which one fits that criteria the best. And to me, honestly, it would be the 64 versions, with like Wind Waker being really close second or third, because that came out after that. So some people who are a couple years younger than us would be like, oh, Wind Waker is the best Zelda, if by that theory that you're applying, right? But I think a lot of people, when they say this game's the best or whatever, they're not using that outside the box thing where what their idea of a good game is and applying it to all of them. They're kind of just saying, I had the most fun playing this one, and this is why I like it the best. So, which
it isn't nothing.
It's not wrong, or it's not. It's just a different way to go about stuff.
It's a game. A lot of the time people forget, and it is an art form, but it's just entertainment. Anyway, I think that was a good thing to wrap up with. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. I know we missed one last week. I guess it'll be last week by the time this one's released. We're gonna try to release something soon. We'll get back on track. But otherwise, this has been the Chris and Chris podcast. I'm your host, Chris.
And I am the other Chris.
We'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Finger bang.
Finger bang.